If you're taking the SAT on August 28th and you're training, if you're still getting a few of the radical math problems incorrectly, chances are you're not checking for your extraneous roots. Here's a 4-step process that I recommend to eliminate that issue from happening. So let's say you see something like this on the test. Step number 1 would be to isolate your radical. You see, by subtracting 4 on both sides, now my radical is by itself on one side of the equation, which is in its isolation. Now that I've isolated the radical, it's time for me to eliminate it. How do we eliminate radicals? Well, here you have a square root, so you're going to raise both sides to the power of 2. If you had a cube root, you would cube both sides, and so on. Please remember that a square root of a number squared is itself, while the square of a difference is going to follow a specific quadratic pattern. It's insanely important to know that a square of a difference, x minus 1 squared, is not the same as x squared minus 1 squared. It equals to x squared minus 2x plus 1. Step number 3 is pretty boring. This is when you just solve the equation, bring everything to the same side, and you get x equals to 5 and x equals to negative 1. However, you're not done yet. Radicals require you to check for extraneous roots, and we're going to do this right now. Step number 4 requires you to plug your solutions back into the equation. Make sure you're plugging in back into your original equation, and here, when we plug in 5, everything works out. However, as you can probably guess, negative 1 is not going to work. When you plug in negative 1 into the original equation, you're not getting something that is correct. Naturally, the right answer here is B.